Welcome to my video submission for the production project. What my project is about is website and database security. During this video, I'm going to be conducting attacks on both my insecure site and secure site. The overall aim of this project is to analyze website and database security vulnerabilities. Throughout this video, I'm going to be conducting SQL injection attacks, cross-site scripting attacks, and cross-site request forgery attacks, with the addition of insecure direct object reference or IDOR attack. The overall reason for doing this project is to spread awareness about the critical importance of website and database security. This is especially important when the website is handling sensitive information about a user or customer. Without the use of XAMPP, I would not be able to run this website within a local environment, and the fact that it is in a local environment means that it is protected from any outside threats. Okay, so before we jump into the attacks, I do want to quickly just run through the website so you understand the functionality of it. So to start off, we have the nav bar. It includes a icon which sends us back to the index page. It has a search bar which is fully functional, sends us to this page which you can click on products. It will also have an account, so if you hover over it, we have profile, sign in, register, and contact us. In the top right, we have a basket icon, although the basket icon does not work as we did not need this to work for any need throughout the site. So if we click on it, it will just send us to a page not found. Moving on to the actual index page itself, we have a hero section and a call to action. So if you click on this, it sends you to the product page. We just have our services and then the best sellers. Moving on to the footer, we have the symbol, the logo again here, a dummy address, and then links to each social medias. As you can see, all of them work. We also have quick links. This is just to home, products, contacts, and profile, and then what the site accepts if it was a functional e-commerce site. Moving on to the products page, we have 2 pages in total. As you see, the pagination correlates to what page you're on. So if I click to previous, we get that. If I click 2, we get that. So whichever one you click, it will correlate to the page you're on. What you can see on here is the product name, the price, and the rating. So if we click on the product, we can see obviously the name again, the rating, and the price. Add to cart, and there is also a review section. Now, with the review section, if I was to click on the write a review now, because I'm not logged in, if I was to click on it, we would get sent to the login page. This is because you can only make a review if you are logged in. Moving to the register page, I have pre-filled in the information for us. So we have the username, email, and password. If I click register, it will then send the information to the database and enter the user in right here. If we click register, and if we go to the database, refresh, we can see the new user has been added in. If we enter the user information in here in the login page and then click login, we can see the profile page working. We have a welcome to the user, a username, email, and then permission level. This will change correlating to if you're a user or an admin. You could also change your password and log out from this, of course. If you change password, you need to enter the current password and then enter the new password and confirm the new password. Just before we do this, I want to show you in the database the hash for the current password. So if we did this, change the password, went back to the database and refreshed, we can see the hash is completely different because the password has changed. To show you some basic admin functionality, if we went on to the wireless mouse, we can see we can now edit the product and delete the product. If we click edit the product, we can change the product name, the price, and the description, and also the image file. But if we want to change something in the database, we could change this to $29.99. Update the product, it will say product updated successfully, and this will change as well. And of course, in the database, this has changed as well. There's also a delete function. If we clicked on the delete product, it would send us to this. It would prompt us to make sure we want to delete the product. Of course, in this circumstance, we do not, so we just click cancel. Moving on to the review page, as mentioned before, now we are logged in, we should be able to go ahead and write a review. This is the review page, so I've already pre-done the review. This is for the wireless mouse, so if we go ahead and click submit the review, it will send us back to the index page. But if we go into the review section and go to the very last one, we can see product ID 1, which is the mouse, and this is a review. As for the contact page, I have pre-done the information again, so all we need to do is a first name, a last name, email, and a message. Clicked submit, it will tell us the message has been sent successfully. So if we head over to the database again, go to contact, we can see video test, video at test, this is a contact. That is it for the functionality. Now to move on to the attacking. We are doing an SQLi attack on the website. So as you can see, the steps involved, we need to find a target, which we already have. It's the login page. Then we need to inject some malicious SQL into the username and password slot, and this should give us access to the account. Okay, so now we are on the website. We are clearly on the unsafe website. So what we need to do is we need to go over to account, sign in, use this code right here. And what we can do is we can copy and paste it into both username and password just to ensure that it works. And we can click login. And now what we can see is we have just been logged in to an admin user. Okay, moving on to reflected cross-site scripting. During this testing, I will be conducting two different types of cross-site scripting, reflected and stored. Steps involved in this are we need to find a target, which for this we have chosen the search bar. Then we need to craft and inject malicious script into the search bar and submit it. This should then execute it and alert the script for the user. And we have found our target, which is the search bar here. All we have to do is click on it. I already have some crafted SQL, so not SQL, sorry, script code. I paste that. Then I'm going to click on search, and site returns the script. Sorry, returns XSS. We are now moving on to store. The steps involved in this one are find the target, which we already have. It's the review page. Then we need to craft and inject some malicious script into the review of a product and submit it. Then we need to go back to the product page and see if the script is actually working. We now need to go down to write a review. Click on this, and then in the review, we're going to copy and paste the exact same code that we used in the search bar. Then we're going to submit the review, go back to Lever Wallet. Every time someone, any user on the site, going to get this script executing. As you can see, this is the review I've just left. There is nothing to see. There's just a blank review. But if we go into the database, we can see the time, which is right now. Next, we are moving on to cross-site request forgery. Now, the steps involved in this, of course, we need to find our target, which for this is the password change and us as the user. Now, this is what the email would ideally look like. This is the important part. This is what the user is going to click on and then get to this page. Now, the user is going to be told that they have won a £50 gift card, when in reality, once they click this button, it's going to change the password. This is the code for the attack.html, and what it does is it is a hidden form hidden in the unsafe change password.php. So it guesses the current password, and if it does guess correctly, it then changes the password to hacked123. Finally, we are moving on to our IDAR attack. Now, the steps involved in this is to find the target, which, to explain trial and error, what the attacker would have to do is constantly change variables in the URL in order to try and access a page that they are not supposed to be on. One product that is not listed, and if we go into the database, onto the products, we can see product 1001. Just click on the product and we change this URL to 1001, and it takes us directly to this page. Passwords that were getting passed to the database during registers were not getting hashed, so this meant that all of the passwords were stored as plain text instead of being secured. Now we'll go over this a little bit more when it comes to the mitigation for this. Okay, now that I have demonstrated the attacks, I'm going to now move on to mitigation. So for SQL injection, we used prepared statements and special character escaping. What the prepared statement does is it retrieves the value listed from the database, and it will only select the username of a specific value. If we also go over to register PHP, we can see here that we again are using a prepared statement. Also in search.php, we also have this code in search.php. What this code essentially does is it escapes special characters. So it doesn't allow things like quotations or single quotations. It will instead remove it. Sign in and we try the same SQL injection that we tried last time. It will not let us bypass authentication. Next, we have stored and reflected cross-site scripting mitigation. For this, we used HTML special characters. And what this essentially does is, as it says, it escapes special characters. So as we can see here, we used HTML special characters. What this is a PHP function that escapes special characters. For this site, it is used in the user input form, and it can also stop malicious scripts from being executed on the site. Anything that pulls and pushes anything from and to the database. What we can do is we can re-attack the site, so we already have the script here. If we just put that and then enter, and what we can see from that is that nothing happens and there is no more alert when this code is inputted. We can also now see that it is shown to us instead of just having nothing here. Click on Level Wallet, which we implemented the script on, sorry. We can now see that the script is actually visible on the reviews instead of just being blank. Next form of mitigation we have is for cross-site request forgery, and this is the use of CSRF tokens. Start off, we are currently on the register.php page, and this is the code we have in order for our users to be given a CSRF token. If the page includes a post request, this code is put onto it. Essentially what this does is this provides a random 32-byte string for a CSRF token. Well, that represents a CSRF token. It is then stored for the user and used in the forms for the validation. We also have this require CSRF protection.php and this CSRF validate. So if we go over to our CSRF protection page, we have this code. And what this essentially does is it ensures the CSRF token is sent with the form and is matched to the user's token. So we are back on this page. We are back on the CSRF attack page, but this time we are on the secure site, as you can tell by the URL. So what we do, if we click on claim your prize, we then get a CSRF validation failed. And now moving on to IDOR mitigation. What we used for this was rather simple. We just used access controls. We implemented this access control, which essentially says if the user is an admin, then yes, they can access product ID 1001. Else, the access is denied. To products, click on a product and type in 1001. You can see that access is denied. And finally, moving on to password hashing. So instead of the passwords being stored as plain text in the database, they are now stored using the PHP function password hash. And in addition to this, we are using password default, which automatically uses the most secure algorithms for hashing the passwords. So here we are on the database. As you can see from when I was testing the site on insecure code, this is what the passwords looked like. But now the passwords use this hashing here. And this is the code that actually hashes the passwords. What it does is it creates the variable hashed password, and it uses the PHP function password hash and password default as previously explained.